see. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, 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 good people. Welcome to the Herb Show.
Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie Herb Man. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie Herb Man is on. And if you're tuning in to the first time to the Herb Man Show, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all of the platforms at Love Herb Man. All right, so we're coming live to you from South Africa, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. We are the Herb Man Morning Show. We are the ones to get you on your way, to get you on your day. Okay, so go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie Herb Man is on. I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. Okay, so what we do here on the Herb Man Show is teach you guys how to heal yourself, and you cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. So obviously we teach you about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to three things: happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right, so we do that by teaching you guys about the human frame and the human design. Okay, you gotta know those things. You cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. We put a lot of emphasis on that. All right, so what we do here, man, we let you know, guys, that this is free information. This is the free information station. All you got to do to pay for this information is simply pay attention, and how you do that is by double tapping the screen, interacting with us, and getting us to 100,000 likes during this live. And then also we want you guys to understand that your interaction, your questions, your concerns will always be to our top priority while doing the Herb Man Show. If you want to come up on the live, if you want to talk to us about products that you maybe even have received from us and services that you received from us, or just what you got going on in your life and trying to find some reciprocity, trying to find a pathway through, we can do that for you. All right, we do not offer products as panacea, but we do offer program, and that program is the owner's manual. And for your funky measly $50, you guys, we will give you all of the things that we think that you need, okay, that we feel that you need, and that we have understood and we've researched that you would need to be back into balance with life. That means that it's not just about medications and herbs, and it's not just about vitamins and minerals, but it's also about lifestyle activities that you would need to involve yourself into to make sure that you're cohesive, that you're balanced, that you're at homeostasis, not only within you, but also externally in your life. And so for that funky measly $50 and a birthday, we don't need a blood type. We don't need a blood sample. We don't need a hair sample. We don't need a stool sample. We don't need a urine sample, a saliva sample. We ain't going to prick you, prod you, or poke you. This is non-invasive, non-intrusive. You give us the simplest amount of information, which is your birthday. And what we believe that's in ancestral timekeeping is that we understood that numbers is the first language. And numbers carry language. Then your birthday has a lot of information to hold. Now, your blood test only holds 24 hours. Your hair sample holds 90 days. But your birthday holds a lifetime. And when you're going and looking for herbalists and looking for alternative medicine people, what we feel, what I would be looking for, based on my understanding of the knowledge that I've gained in this life, and I'm only 46 years old. But what I've gained, I wouldn't go to no doctor. Not saying that the doctor ain't good. He just ain't good enough. From what I've learned, the grocery store ain't all that. I'd rather shop with the man on the side of the road, or either grow food myself. From my 46 years of what I've learned, okay, that some of this stuff you got to take into your own responsibility. Okay. And so what we're teaching you is how to do that, just how to do that as well. Okay. Well, we're teaching you how to do that as well. Now, for some reason, they just restricted my live. So I guess that's because I'm talking about the doctors, but it is what it is. All right. So you guys need to understand that that's what you're getting and that's what you're learning on the Herb Man Show. So if anybody you know is interested in anything that we have to offer as far as herbs and programs and consultations, then obviously you can DM me and we can get you guys the information that you need. Okay. Now, the biggest thing is for you to understand what we've been teaching for months and years now, people on social media. Okay. And the biggest thing that we've been teaching is that you are caught up in a time portal, a time warp. Okay. You're caught up in a time portal and a time warp that you have no understanding of. So what we speak of it in is reincarnation and rebirth. And, a lot of people talk about it, but a lot of people can't illustrate it to you to show you what it looks like, what it feels like, and all that type of stuff. Okay. So the thing is, you got to learn about what it looks like. Hopefully I ain't erasing everything. Okay. So at the end of the day, time is what's causing you to be off kilt. That disconnect won't allow you to be able to get into some of your supernatural powers. That's what's going on. Okay. A lot of y'all been praying to God. Y'all been going to church. Grandmama them still leaving him. Mama them still leaving him. I'm talking about mama them just came from church and left here. You feel me? So we got to understand, okay, then what is it about a prayerful person that life can be? You say, well, because everybody got their designated time. Folks don't know when they supposed to go. So what you mean we all got our designated time? If I'm praying to you for life and you give me death, then who am I talking to? And what favor did you do me? And so if at the real time I really need you, because I don't really give a damn you don't give me money. I be asking you for money, God, but if you don't give me money, I ain't tripping. I don't really be tripping if you don't give me kids, God. You know what I mean? I really do want kids, but if you don't give me, but if you don't give me goddamn life when I want it, motherfucker, when I'm sitting on that deathbed and I'm sitting there sick, you don't want to give me that when I really, really need it. That's some bullshit. And so what we've got to be able to understand is that sometimes that divine delay is all it is. And it's delayed because you asked at the wrong time. And because you're not in perfect timing with what is going on in your life, then that means that you're going against the wave of life. And so you see that a lot of people make it famous because they know how to ride the airwaves. You see that when you go to the radio station, when you go to some of these people, they say that you are on air. And you call the air wave. Okay. So I'm just using this as an illustration for you to understand that if you don't understand the situation that is coming to you, everything is environmental stimuli. Okay. So all your little job situations, your co-worker situations, your friends, your families, all of this dietary, all of this is sickness, and all this is just environmental stimuli. Something to keep you and basically occupied in this environment, right? And so you got to learn how to respond to the environmental stimuli in a way where you ain't always at death for a decision. Death shouldn't always be the decision every time you got to make a decision. Me and my old lady talk about this to this day. We ain't always got to make a little situation be the death of the relationship. We could just talk about something and keep it moving. It ain't gonna be the end of the world that we disagree on this point. Right? And so at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to get you to see, how to ride that wave. You ride the wave. If there's a flood of emotions in a situation, if there's a flood of emotions on the earth, if there's a flood of anything on the planet, if there's a flood of any kind of way, the only thing that you could really do is rest, relax, do the opposite of what it is. You cannot swim in high tide. So then we know that low tide is for swimming, doing, working, getting out here, seeing what's going on. And then we know that high tide is for resting, manifesting, chilling, concentrating, focus, being in my thought life, being in my meditative state, being in my spiritual state of mind. And the more you understand the duality, the work that needs to be done to understand this duality. What's going on YouTube? I love you guys for following, man. Appreciate it. Like and share. Thank you guys for anything. If you got questions, please put them in the chat box in the YouTube. All right. So TikTok, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that, look, if you don't understand the balancing act, 60 years is all that's required for the physical body to be in ultimate control, meaning that the man needs to do his half. That's 60 years. That's intellect. Intellect's job for you is 60 years. The body's responsibility is to work 60 years for you, not necessarily just exclusively, but 60 years as far as being the top priority. You're trying to run the body longer than that. But the body like, down, hold on, I'm supposed to share this with the mind. I'm here to share this with your spirit. We're supposed to be able to balance this out so therefore we can preserve each other. See, because if you tap into me spiritually, then I can preserve you physically. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. If you keep tapping, I'll keep talking. And this is why I want them to come on to the morning, so that when you're waking up, you're being able to get a sense of clarity about really the purpose that you should be here. The purpose for you is not to die working at that job. You know that, I know that, we know that. The purpose for you ain't for what you're doing, even on your second job, even in your hobbies. You're being occupied and you're trying to keep yourself occupied from your purpose. Hey, look, y'all think I be coming over here playing with y'all this morning, man, but I ain't gonna do that to you. See, what you're doing is you're trying to keep yourself preoccupied from the purpose. You don't really want to do what you really know you're supposed to do, so you do what you think you're supposed to do to help the situation out. But deep down inside, every time you're clocking in, you already clocking out mentally. You're working on a job to where your body is in motion, but your mind is outside of that job. His brother's in prison right now. Body is in that motherfucker, but mind free. Now, this separation of the mind and the body, as you keep on doing this, leaves the body, the physical, the physicality, the reality of life. You stay vulnerable and unstable. Because as long as mind and body separation continues to keep happening for you, because you keep putting your body in a job you don't want to be in. You keep putting your mind in a job you don't want to be in. You keep putting your mind in a situation you don't want to be in. You keep putting your mind in situations you can't stay in. But your body is there to be a representative when your mind is far from it. Now, guess what? Being in a relationship like that, being at a job like that, being in family like that, being in situations like that, being in schools and classrooms like that, to where you're just never there because you don't like the physical present state. So your mind go elsewhere. Now, it's good when it's a book. It's good when it's child shit. It's good when it's little. But when you get grown and you can't stay input to the present moment, that becomes a problem for you now. And so now that's when we're talking about time warping, because now your mind has got into another time zone from the body. Which happens is it leaves the body vulnerable to the body's addictions. So when you're reading the Bible talking about the flesh addictions, what we're talking about is when the body is absent from the mind, and when the mind is absent from the body, is not a death thing, it's a life thing. You're doing this in life, but you reading the Bible thinking it's talking about dying. It ain't. It's talking about living. And what we're giving you for the funky measly $50 is that pathway to life. That pathway to life is in the balancing act. And what we give you for your funky measly $50, once again, is that balancing act. We ain't trying to open up a 2-piece fish dinner spot so that you can keep getting pieces of information. We're trying to give it to you all at once for that funky measly $50 and your birthday. So if you're interested, please DM us and we'll get you that information. Now, the reason why we feel like you need to understand this is because if you don't understand the sharing, the sharing of this particular time and space dynamic, then what happens is you run out of gas in the body. We need to put more emphasis on body preservation, seeing that we're under oxidative stress because we need oxygen, and therefore there's a lot of combustion that comes with the oxygen, right? Oxygen is the most combustible substance in the atmosphere, but oxygen is used for your cells to create this dynamic in which you need what you call energy, and oxygen is needed for your lungs, and oxygen is needed for your blood, because oxygen is needed for your cells. But oxygen still in itself is the most combustible, most destructive, most volatile substance on the planet, and you need it. But you can't live in it forever unless you know how to protect yourself from it. So being in this sunlight atmosphere, you got to be smart enough to know how to live long. They did that back in the day, and we're trying to teach you how to do that today. You have to know how to have your system strong enough to buffer the stimuli of the environment. It could be an air situation. It could be an earth situation. It could be a water situation. It could be a sunlight, a light situation. Look, it could be emotional situation. It could be a mental situation. It could be a spiritual situation, or it could be a physical situation. The whole purpose for you to come into this is to learn how to be able to be in congruency with the environment. That when you get rain, you get shelter. When you get sunlight, you get water. When you get water, you get sunlight. When you get earth, you get rest. When you get, you see, it's a on and off. It's a wave of up and down, of opposites that is creating the congruency. So there's a masculine and feminine energy quality to the information that you've been receiving, that you don't understand that it is through their intercourse, through your masculine and feminine intercourse, through your left and right brain working together friction-wise, friction, intercourse, agitation, not necessarily disagreement. But there's differences of function that actually are created to work together, like a positive and a negative of a battery in your car. They own the same thing, a battery, but they got different functionalities and different electro and magnetic functions that create the spark. So your physical energy, your masculine energy is creating the electrical spark, but you can't just ride on that. Ain't no car just gonna crank up on your positive. Ain't no car just gonna crank up on the positive. So you have to put the cable on the negative too. So heck on feminine energy, giving you just as much effectiveness, just as much quality, just as much assurance as electric, and just as much magnetic energy. So now with electric and magnetic being charged, they create energy. Your car come on. This simple as example I just gave you is nothing more than what you got to do to revive your cells, what you got to do to revive yourself. That example is nothing more than the same thing you got to do to revive your cells within you and yourself outside in this experience. Knowing where you are is going to get you to understand when you need to do something. Knowing where you are is going to get you to understand when you need to do something. So it's not divine delay because of just happenstance. It's divine delay because you're asking for something out of time, out of season. You want a car, but the car ain't for you right now. You want a husband, but you ain't in husband season. You want some money, but you ain't in money season. And you don't know when the season is. So when you even get in the money season, you ain't gonna know it's money season and you miss money season. Stay in post. Because you don't know this information, even when husband season come, you ain't gonna know it's husband season. And guess what? You're gonna miss the husband. Now, guess what? You husbandless once again. Because you don't know this information. When healing season come, get what? You ain't gonna know it's healing season. So you staying sick. Never get healing. Because you don't know when. And you just, woe is me, and God is this, and this, that, and the third, and I ain't got no this, and I ain't had no babies, miscarriage, infertility, this, that, and the third. I ain't been single all my life, and this, that, and the third. It because you never knew who, because you never knew when, because you never knew that this existed. But it does, and it's 2025, and it's time for us to roll out the information, just like all this other stuff they've been finding, aliens and all this other stuff. Then you must understand that this was from the come. You must understand that in the essence of keep confusion, that there will be somebody gonna come with a little bit of peace. You must understand that through all the chaos, that there got to be a balance. Yes, birth always the universe birth balance, because the universe ain't you. The universe know the necessity of balance. That when it's always Superman, there's always kryptonite. Well, always Batman, there's always Joker. So if it's always Trump, there's always going to be a nemesis. Balance. Who would have thought? So now you're getting somebody coming onto social media talking about there's a timekeeping tool that you can use that'll help you in your health, but really it'll help you in your wealth because it'll tell you when. Hell no. Y'all don't believe it. Y'all don't believe it because I wouldn't believe it, but I'll follow that young man to see what the hell he talking about. Y'all don't believe it because I wouldn't believe it, but I'll still follow that young man to see what the hell he talking about. I'll follow him every day. Every time he posts, I'll figure out what the hell this nigga talking about. And what he talking about is, first of all, that the Gregorian calendar, the Renaissance age, is an age. The Renaissance means rebirth. How many of you guys know that Renaissance, the word Renaissance, I ain't got enough room to write it on here because I want to keep this up, because I want to walk you through this. But the word Renaissance means rebirth, right? They ain't goddamn born no child. So why the hell would you call an age the Renaissance age? Right before the Renaissance age, what age was it? What age was it before the Renaissance? Let me see if y'all know something. Because if you don't know something, I'll teach you something. If you claim to know something, then we can rock together. Okay, what's going on? What age came before the Renaissance age? Because a lot of you guys act like y'all are into this consciousness and you understand, but you've never heard anybody using this for your health. Their health comes out of this. And the health is the wealth. And I ain't just talking about you living long. I'm talking about you actually getting to the bread. But you got to know how to grow something. You got to know how to produce something. And you can't keep doing it by mistake. It's got to be intentional growth. Intentional growth of your family. Intentional growth of yourself. Intentional growth of your wealth. This ain't accidental. Y'all ain't hearing me. This power can't be given to somebody who's just a little baby. You got to grow up with this power and be able to use it professionally to be able to circumvent and maneuver in this realm so that you can call this heaven. These are heavenly times, but it's opportunities that you keep missing because your discernment, because your ability to enhance and mature in this spiritual quality in you, you're not doing. And I told you, you get 60% intellect and 60% intuition. You must share this space, and y'all don't know where you at. Some of y'all are in intuitive times in your life, and you're trying to intellectually see your way through it, and you're going to fail. And that's where death come in at. Look at here. Let me tell you something. Everybody that has died has failed the test of everlasting life. Every book you've been reading been trying to get you to see that you can live everlasting. Reincarnation, Jesus Christ, Christians, all y'all on my goddamn channel. All y'all want to be mad at me for when I used to be a Christian preacher. Look, I get it. But ain't none of y'all seeing everlasting life, but you reading and believing in it. And what I'm trying to get you to see is that it does exist, but there is a way to it. There's a pathway. There's a sacredness. There's an initiation. There's an understanding to this that you got to understand. And so what happens is we grow older in age as the generations of people. So I've learned from the monks and the gurus and all of the people who practice this, I've learned why they couldn't be coming back to tell you they've been here since forever. And the reason why is because they had not a lot of value on the physical. They didn't know how to keep this going. So they fasted, they starved themselves, and they got spiritual enlightenment, but they killed the body. Y'all. When you fast and when you Buddha sat in front of that tree so long, yes, he got into enlightenment, but he died. So he can't come back to tell you shit and still say that he everlasting. So even in the Buddha religion, Buddha ain't living everlasting. That's a goddamn a goddamn statue out there. That ain't a real person. Jesus is on your picture. You ain't seen him. Come on now, open up your mind. These folk ain't still here to say that this shit work. And you just been suckered in and rereading this, and it's like Superman and Batman as far as what you're seeing, but you can't do it. I ain't gonna keep on reading no book about something that I can't. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to be like, I want to do it. Let me do it too. I want to die and resurrect too, mother. See, y'all don't understand because you're not really trying to do the shit. But when you trying to, I want to do it too. Just wanted to be one, Jesus. I want to do it too. He said that you should do greater works than me. I want to do them. I want to do it. I believe that much. I want to do it. You don't believe that much, but you claiming you will. So that's why even in your prayer, grandmama, at 70, 80, you've been going to church 40, 50 years, God won't hear you enough to let you live past the disease. You want 5 more years, but you left. You won't answer that request. Why? Because you don't really understand what I'm teaching you. When you run the physical body down, it don't matter what you preaching, praying about. This got to be taught in elementary of humanism. In order to reach everlasting life, your body got a lot to still be doing with it. It ain't a death thing. It's a life thing. It ain't a death consciousness. It's a life consciousness. It ain't about dying. It's about living. It's not about hell, you guys. It's about heaven. How many times can I continue to keep describing this to you? That the thing about your disconnect is because you're thinking about it in the wrong way. So some of you guys are coming to the plate physically exasperated. There's nothing that we can do. There's nothing that herbs can do, the medications can do. There's nothing that inventions can do. Why? Because you're coming to energy absorbed, right? You got too much energy gone. And so that's because you ran this race in the physical. And shit we gonna do about it. You can't ask a feeble ass body. I don't give a damn if it's on a baby or elderly or you. I don't give a damn. You can't ask for no broke down kidneys to rejuvenate themselves. They broke down. That means that you got a pool. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying you don't understand how to do it. So how you do it is you have to pull from a different energy within you. spiritual. This is where the mind comes in at. But y'all don't want to do nothing mindful. When you doing your high blood pressure, you ain't doing no mindfulness. The doctor just gave you high blood pressure pills. When you went through your blood sugar issue, they ain't did no mindfulness for you. Doctor just gave you metformin and insulin. When you went through your autoimmune disease, they ain't told you about no mindfulness. They just put you on whatever little pain pills or whatever little stuff that you needed. When you got that arthritis, they ain't told you about nothing but surgery. Ain't no mindfulness going on. Even when you go to church, they talking about mindfulness, but they ain't talking about your issues. They ain't talking about no high blood pressure and diabetes. So the pastor talking about the mindfulness, but the pastor ain't talking about the arthritis, the diabetes, and the eating habits, and the obesity, and the high blood pressure, and the cancer, and the tumor. He ain't talking nothing to them. So when I go to the doctor, it's all physical, no spiritual. When I go to the pastor, it's all spiritual, no physical. How am I going to get fixed? Unless they both cousins or brothers or twins, they ain't going to never be on the same level. What the pastor say is always going to be different from what the doctor say, and vice versa, because it ain't on the same level. Because you went and seen two people for the same thing. You need to see one person that can deal with two of those things within you. You should never be visiting people who can't be pastoral and doctoral. Because you need all of that in your one session. You should never be searching for information about wealth if it ain't got nothing to do with health. Because health of your mind and body will create wealth unindubitably. You don't got to worry about nothing about financial wealth. Money ain't an object if I can get you to think right and time things right and be on the win and capitalize on these opportunities that's coming to you 2 times a day, 2 times a month, and 4 times a year, which means I'm giving you 758 times a year to hit me and ride with me during the wave. Ain't nobody ever said that on public TV. Ain't nobody ever wrote that in no book. Ain't nobody ever said that on social media. Ain't nobody ever told me that I got 758 times to be in tune and to be in parallelism and to be able to be empowered and be supernatural during 1 year. And I'm going to get 758 more times the next year to understand how to ride the wave. To understand how to hit it right on the nail. You get 2 times a day, 2 times a month, 4 times a year to be in tune with nature. 758 times a year. Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Any questions? Any concerns thus far? Please keep tapping the screen, you guys. I'll keep talking. Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Let's get us up to 100K. If you keep tapping, I will keep talking. Thank you, YouTubers. Thank all of my TikTokers for all of the love, baby. Let me give me a little bit of wall time, and we'll keep this thing going. So you see the importance of the owner's manual for your little funky measly $50. We understand the importance of this balancing act. The next question is, what can it do for you? Knowing this information can get you to your healthiest and wealthiest state that you've ever been in this paradigm. Using this information the way that it should have been used, which is not just for love and for job and money, but like Cleo and them did it, they bastardized it. It's all good. But at the end of the day, everything has been bastardized, right? But this information, when I learned that it could be very critical to the balancing and the medical side, the health side of people. That's what made the difference, right? And we get a lot of information on social media. We get a lot of information just in reading and all these outlets and resources. But it really you never really get something that way it could be tangibly grasped in the way that, well, okay, in my darkest time, in my darkest hour of life, is there really something that I could know and understand that can pull me out of that dark? And I call this the lighted path, the sun, the ecliptic of the sun, the life path, the light path, the yellow brick road, the infinity of life. This is everlasting life. This is the infinity sign. Okay. This is also a compass, so you'll know where you're going. This is a GPS system. This is also something that's going to be very effective at assessing your health, providing herbal remedies. This thing works off opposites. If something is hot and dry, it may prefer or recommend a cold and wet situation. If something is hot and wet, it may recommend a cold and dry situation, and vice versa, because it works in opposites. Masculine is opposite from feminine energy. Man is opposite from a woman. The sun is opposite from the moon. But both are doing their jobs. The moon is the reflection of the sun. Feminine energy is the reflection of masculine energy. But the job of the purpose of these two things within you, which is basically your left and your right brain, that before you create an idea, there must be an agreement on that idea within you first. If you walking around the planet with your mind elsewhere than your body, most of your sojourn here, then obviously that body will end up perspiring, because you're going to put it in so many different situations, or without you mentally being there to guide it, that it is going to just, consume itself to an end. Information, food, whatever you call it. But if you learn how to keep them together, mind and body, if you learn how to keep Adam and Eve together, if you learn that the whole purpose was to take a couple from a garden that got everything, put them in a world where they have nothing, but they got everything, and then allow them to be able to stay together. Okay, so if you lead sometimes, can I stay with you? And if it's your turn to lead, can I stay with you? And can we stay together if we have nothing? And can we stay together if we got it? Folk leaving folk when they get rich. They ain't got to leave you when you're poor. Folk will leave you when you got nothing. And folk will leave you when you got something. Folk will leave you because you can't have no kids, and folk will leave you with all the kids. Shit, you talking about? The purpose is to stay together. If I put this environmental stimuli of this life experience on you, brain, can you stay together? I'm going to say that one more time, and then I'm going to get up off of here, man. I ain't want to keep y'all long, but I definitely wanted to make it strong. Okay? We got a few more minutes. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. I'm gonna get this brain and put it in this environment where there's so much stimuli. You call it life, but scientifically, your life ain't nothing but environmental stimuli and how you respond to it. That's what's putting you in what you would call a life experience. All of your responses to environmental stimuli, instead of a bear coming to get you, your uncle came and got you when you were 3. Instead of a lion coming to get you, it was your granddaddy when you were 7. Instead of a cheetah coming to get you, it was your daddy when you was 11. You call it human hurt, but scientifically, it's environmental stimuli, and it's how you respond to it. It's how your brain is going to respond to it. And what I'm saying is the intercourse, the agitation, the functionality between the masculine and the feminine energy within you, or the left and right brain, when they agitate to create an idea, that idea is called the baby from that intercourse. The intercourse is another word for friction. When you have intercourse, that's friction. It's friction. You're creating friction. I'm trying to get y'all to understand this. Now, you got to go down into some science. I'm the realest nigga on this shit. For real. I know herbs, I know your body, but I also know this esoteric information. So to explain, we can get into all bags of information. What I'm saying to you is intercourse ain't nothing but a big word for friction. Friction, agitation, all these the same word. So when you say intercourse, all you saying is friction. That friction could look any kind of way. So with your masculine and your feminine energy, or your left and right brain, it agitates. It's friction. That friction creates the baby. But sometimes what's happening is that balance of up and down of friction ain't working in you. See? And you get out of balance. So now you see that right hand, this ain't moving. Now it looked the same, but look at this. This ain't moving no more. That right hand is not moving no more when I do that. Now it looked like that, but so now there is a imbalance. This happens in your mind before it happens in your body. When your mind stop intercoursing and start getting asexual, when masculine energy start taking over and creating by itself, or when feminine energy within you start to take over and start to create by itself, asexual, that's when you create an imbalance. And that's when habits, and that's when what they call habits and what they call addictions start to become a phenomenon within our paradigm. And soon as addiction and phenomenon, as soon as you start to like something or love something, or as soon as you start to hate something, you start to get imbalanced. Listen to what I just said. As soon as you start to like or love something, or as soon as you start to hate something, you start to get imbalanced in this environmental stimuli. Oh, you know what? I don't like going over there by the lions more than I like going over here by the dolphins. I don't like going over here by the dolphins more than I like going over here by the whales. And so you start to pick and choose in this environmental stimuli. And what happens is you start to move out of the center. It ain't your fault. You just ain't nobody been teaching you how to survive everlasting. Preservation. It stayed in the middle. You can't get too high or too low. You saw the beauty over here and want to stay over here. You ain't want to have nothing to do with working on things over here. And that's what's going to cause your ass to have limitations. It ain't for you to be rich all your life, and it ain't for you to be poor all your life. It ain't for you to be healed all your life, and it ain't for you to be sick all your life. It's just for you to be balanced. That whatever happens to me in this position, I have access to all of the tools that I need. In this position, the center, in this position, I have all access to all of the tools that I need. Ain't nothing too far gone, too far left, too far right. But now here's the thing. As I keep inching, and I want y'all to see this. If I keep inching because I don't really know my position and I'm just going through the environmental stimuli, and you know what? I tend to just want to do what I like to do. I like to be around people that like me. I like to do things that I like to do. I like to eat what I like. I like to just be, So I just, in this environmental stimuli, I just tend to stay with things I like to do. I don't really like to go outside. I don't like bugs and mosquitoes and sunlight and heat. And I don't like my natural hair. I like weave. And I don't like natural sex. I like condoms. And I don't like this, and you just want to do what you want to do, what you like to do, right? So that's fine. So you start moving on over here in life, and that's cool, right? But there are situations that are gonna come up in your life there's tools over here too. You got a bunch of tools over here and a bunch of tools over here. Now, you going over here to what you like. But every now and then, there's going to be some things that come up in your stimuli that's going to see if you know how to respond to it. So you so far right that you're too far away from your tools on the left side of you, on the left consciousness, in the left brain, in the masculine energy that you possess. You ever seen somebody too sweet and can't fight an issue? They too sweet. They're too sweet about me, can't fight an issue. Ain't got enough galls enough to fight issues. You ever seen somebody fighting all the time and can't goddamn calm down? Calm your goddamn man down, Rico. That's why we in the penitentiary, nigga, because you can't calm down for 1 second to hear somebody out. So now you got somebody too sweet and somebody too sour, too far away from being able to balance the environmental stimuli, the response to the environmental stimuli. So now my point to you is that what if healing is over here, but you two over here and you sick? So the way that we are teaching you and the value of the owner's manual for your funky measly $50 is that we're teaching you. You get this in your owner's manual. You get this diagram and all of this. You get foods, the remedies, all of that stuff you're going to get in your diet. I ain't going to short you. But at the end of the day, what I'm telling you is that what I'm giving you is the map on you. So now you see, well, I'm too far over here to really even be attempting to do something that I can't get in the paradigm until I get back here. We don't want you to get over here to get the healing. We just need you to get back centered. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that message. Somebody needed to hear that. I'm not asking for you to get alkaline because you're too acidic. We just need to get you neutral. I'm not asking you to get acidic because you're too alkaline. We're just asking you to get neutral. I'm not asking you to get over here to get your healing because you're sick. We just need to get you back centered. The position to get into all of your tools is centered, balanced. You get that with your owner's manual. If you're interested, please DM me. We'll get you all the information that you need. We're not pushing you from one side to the other. That's the fallibility of modern medicine. You so sick, and then they try to dramatically throw you on the other gauge of the pH balance to see what your body gonna do. And for most of you, you're too sick, you're too feeble to handle that big shift, and you die still. You're too sick to be sick, and you're too sick to be healed. As far as modern medication can understand. Because they're trying to push the body. You push a sick ass body from one acidic end dramatically over to the alkaline end to keep it alive. No, come on, man. We know that shit don't work. We know that shit don't work. Yeah, you might have gave them enough time to say goodbye, but bitch, they finna leave, huh? Because their body can't handle that shift. Because you're calling on a body that whether you revive it or not, the body can't handle the shift. The body is so feeble that it don't matter if it's on the acidic side of that's why a lot of times when you see them say clear and phew, right? That electricity can't sustain itself in a feeble body. You done got so weak, energy, feeble, physically, body gone. Because there was no lesson of body preservation. So when you had spiritual times in your life, you still tried to physically get through those times. And you did, but you ran out the body. So now when you're trying to jump into that pool of spirituality to heal yourself, there is no more source. Because you didn't know when to know this science. So you didn't know that you're supposed to share 60 years of physical energy and 60 years of spiritual energy to get to 120 years upright and walking to where me and you look like this, but I'm 130. Why? Because I know my 60 years of spiritual time. I know how to take the onus and the motives off a body. I know when to rest and when to hibernate. I know when the body preserve. I know that this is new information and you guys have never heard of this a day in your life, and it's okay, but this is real. And I can imagine it could be no different than when Imhotep told people the secrets of science and life and all those type of things and how he knew what he knew, but because it was learned, it was discovered within. And to this day, we recognize Imhotep as to be the first man ever walked the planet that was deified or statued. And the brother built the first pyramid, and he knew navigation, he knew architect. He was the first doctor, the papyruses, the Ebers papyrus, and all that stuff. He wrote them, he did them. First one to do surgery on the brain, get the tools for it, right? Imhotep. Now, what you know him as is Asclepius, the goddess Asclepius in the Greek. Okay, which if you don't know, which your boy who y'all claim to be the father of medicine, Hippocrates, went to school of the school of Asclepius in Greece. Okay, so Imhotep got transferred into the Greek god of Asclepius. Your boy Hippocrates graduated and was the top student from the school of Asclepius. Yeah, you were the top student from Imhotep, the real father of medicine, that you transferred into the god of medicine. Then you built a school called the Asclepius School of Medicine. Then you born Hippocrates to go to that school and graduate as the top student. Then you gave the credit to the student instead of the teacher. But we know the truth now. And even Hippocrates told you guys that you cannot truly call yourself a physician without understanding astrology. So medical, body issues, physical, cosmological, that stuff been together since the beginning of time. I ain't the first one to discover this and do this. But in 2025, what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is when we're looking at herbs and when we're looking at what COVID-19 did, and when we're looking at you guys trying to look for some alternative thing, these herbalists don't know shit. And they're copycats of the books that they read. They're copycats of this and that and the third. And they don't really have any real connection with nature the way it used to be. When May don't want to come up and be herbalists, that's fine. That's business, but that ain't nothing spiritual. But now you have to understand that you got to keep the sanctity of what this culture really is. When I mean culture, I mean this industry that you would call industry of herbalism is a spiritual thing, not an industrial thing. It's not a capitalistic mindset. Y'all gonna fuck around how these folk goddamn spraying all the plants, right? So now they're already mass producing a lot of these herbs. All your little dandelion, you spraying them in your yard, which is what then they spraying them to grow them somewhere else for you to have them. So they don't got you to spray your dandelion from your yard, but then they're gonna grow dandelion somewhere else and sell it to you. Come on, that don't make no sense. So a lot of these commercial herbs, you got to be careful of. So you keep on putting out all this information. Mullen do this and do this and do that. Then it comes mass produced. Y'all gonna go out here and let somebody start a trend on TikTok and social media about a plant that is not designed for all the world to go and fucking get. This is a plant, y'all. It's just like a chicken. A chicken ain't designed for all y'all to like. So that means we got to clone this bitch for all y'all to have some for forever. A cow is not an animal, but for all of y'all to like. So therefore, we got to clone this some bitch for all of y'all to have access for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you would kill the animal. The animal would go extinct for 8 billion people to like chicken, for 8 billion people to like beef and a cow, but y'all keep on eating it like it. That animal's supposed to be extinct, y'all. Those animals are supposed to be extinct from the amount of hot wings you're eating every weekend. Just you by your goddamn self and your family from Alabama, Mississippi. You know how big y'all motherfuckers get down there. Just y'all family by itself would have extinct half of South America's chickens by just one family. Goddamn, the clumps would have goddamn, look, a family of clumps would have killed the chickens already. So how is it that you still got a chicken of 8 billion people like chicken? Not just you like chicken, European like chicken, Australian folk like chicken, African eating, they eating everything on a chicken down there, motherfucker. South America like chicken, goddamn, Canadian like chicken, Alaskan, everybody like chicken. How the fuck the chicken stay alive with 8 billion people on his ass? How the cow stand alive with 8 billion people on his ass? McDonald's everywhere. You got to think. Okay? So now you trying to trend herbalism, that's not the best thing to do. And there's no real true herbalist that would agree with that notion, as far as you thinking that you doing a job of jumping in here, making sea moss and doing this. All you doing is making them. You're making them mass produce a product that should be naturally grown. That means that you got to be patient. When you're looking for herbs, you got to be patient. These hawthorn berries grow goddamn once a year. So I'm gonna have it and then it ain't here no more. It's just like you waiting on your watermelon. That watermelon man that you fuck with, you hit him on the summer, you got to wait till it's summertime again. Herbs are like that. But you make herbalism be in the industry and everybody trying to get dandelion root and goddamn burdock root and you think you getting real shit. But you're putting a trend on Irish moss. That's why you can't find the real shit. And half of them, even if they do got the real stuff, don't know how to make it. Right? So then you got all that information and we ain't even talking about that. But my point to you is that you throw things out of balance when you start putting one creating over the other. In your mind, two should agree. Put that in the chat, please. In your mind, two should agree. And the only way two going to agree is that they must both be present at the table of discussion of making this baby, making this idea. Stop allowing your masculine energy to take over the discussion table in your mind. Asexualizing and producing only masculine energy ideas. Yeah, you making it through your paradigm because this is a patriarchal design. So you making it through life, but some stuff you ain't got energy to do, which is your healing. You getting sicker than a motherfucker. You might be making money, but you sick of this dog. You about to die over there from cancer, but you damn near finna have $3 million in your bank account. So what? You finna die. You smart, you're intelligent, you work, you stay up all night. You done did all kind of shit to that body to get to that $3 million and won't even be able to spend it. So yes, you'll be able to say hard work pays off, but you'll also be able to say that you wasn't balanced. Death is still a failure to everlasting life. No matter how rich you is, no matter how poor you is, no matter how smart you is, no matter how much you come on to YouTube, social media, TV, into our lives, into whatever you're doing on the planet, if you die, you failed the test. And you ain't as rich as you think, you ain't as smart as you think. So in my sojourn here, in my time here, what I'm called to do is show you this tool, this resource of how to live longer than what they've been telling us. And it's something about how to preserve your body. Black seed oil is the best skin preserver on the planet. You've been drinking it internally, but start to put it on your skin. It was inside of the mummifications, not because the nigga was taking it, because he died, God damn it, so he couldn't cure no anything. Black seed don't cure anything. It was found in the tomb of King Tut. Yes, as a skin preserver. Black seed oil is good for preserving your skin. Honey was found in the casket too. Why? Because it's a great at being a skin preserver. Body preservation. Mummification was considered to be an important factor of the afterlife journey. So that when you went through afterlife, you had something to come back to. The soul had a body to come back to. Why? To revive or resurrect itself, aka Osiris and Isis. She resurrected him. Resurrection was of the phallus, but also of the understanding spiritually that this person was still existing, because guess what? When you resurrected the phallus, you resurrected him good enough for him to produce Heru. And ain't no dead penis gonna produce no semen. So when you resurrected that, you resurrected him, because he was alive long enough to get Heru, another live being. So that means that these things were alive, but it's really telling you about the agitation. All she did was created the agitation. I can't make a decision without Osiris. Isis went and got all of them parts to Osiris, letting you know that I can't make a decision without him. I can't reproduce without him. I can't produce an ideal. I can't produce an understanding. I can't produce without agitation. I can't produce without friction. I can't reach healing. I can't reach desired end. I can't reach the opportunity that I want to be with. I can't reach wealth and health without Osiris. I need that agitation. So that's why it was so important that I'm gonna put them all together, but I'm gonna go find them. I'm gonna find old penile, because see, it's through the penile there's gonna be resurrection. See, penis, it was penile. You thinking penile down here, but I told you got a womb here and a womb here, so it's a penile down here, but it's also a pineal up here. And your pineal creates just like the penile creates down now. So I'm gonna resurrect them here was nothing but resurrecting them here. To create an offspring, she turned into a dove and doved over the phallus and created Heru. All that means is creating friction, agitation. Huh? She understood the value of being able to work together to create an idea. Heru was an idea. And if you look at understanding Heru, then you'll understand that his name Greek is called Horus. And then you'll understand that Greek got turned into Latin or Spanish and it's called aortas. And aortas is time. That Heru turned into Horus actually means they created time. Osiris and Isis together created time. Ain't no goddamn such thing as Heru. There ain't no such thing as Horus. And that story comes from the planetary story of Chaos and Gaia. Okay? Chaos and Gaia, Gaia and Uranus coming together to create Saturn. Saturn is called Chronos. Chronos is what you clocking in right now to on your time clock. It's time. It's just an ancient story from the planets about how everything works together. If you're wanting to try to balance out your health and you're wanting to get into a better health status without killing yourself, without hurting yourself with these side effects, and you're just tired of modern medicine and you're tired of the pharmaceutical industry and you're just tired of the runaround. You don't know what to eat now. You know, everybody's got different opinions on what is good and what is bad, and grocery store this and this, that, and the third. And you're just trying to get really in tune with yourself. You're tired of sick. You're tired of tired. You're tired of being alone. There's not just about disease in your body. You still want to be with companionship. You still want to get out here and get to this bag. You still got a lot of desires and wants It ain't just sickness. And once you get healthy, you're gonna want to live life. And happiness is a part of health. And we don't want you to understand. The first thing I want you to understand is I'm not a man of elimination. I'm a man of addition. Right? Adding quality things to your life in addition to some of that bad shit you're doing will start to balance out the behavior of your life and the behavior within your body. So do what you're doing, but you need to do more than just that to be balanced. If you're drinking alcohol, you need to be drinking water, pimp. You know that. You know that. If you're drinking alcohol, man, you know you need to be drinking water, man. The alcohol gonna dehydrate you, gonna keep you too acidic. So you need to be a water drinker and an alcohol drinker if you want to be able to drink alcohol for a long period of time. But guess what? The water and the alcohol are both liquids, and they still over time are going to hamper your kidneys because you're drinking too much fucking fluids. So what that means is that you balanced out your water intake, but you're intaking too much fluids over the lifespan of the human design. So you try to balance out a habit, but you created another habit of too much fluid intake over the natural procession of life. So you're drinking too much liquids. Yeah, you eating too much food, you're doing this, that. So yeah, you can fix this and that and the third, but then you have problems in other areas. So that's why you got to learn balance. With every decision, everything you got to do, you got to learn balance. And we teach you that with the owner's manual for your funky measly $50. All right. So I don't have as much time with you guys, man. We got about 7 more minutes. I appreciate all of you guys. Just at least get us up to 50K. All right. I'm begging for 50K and I don't even understand why. Because I normally get 100K, 1,000 likes or more doing my lives, man. But I know this is the morning show. I know they restricted my live. And so I understand the difficulty in being able to get tuned to what we're talking about. But I'm going to be on here, man. I'm going to keep on busting you guys upside the head with this hot banger boogie. And I'm not going to let you go. Okay? I'm not going to let you go from not paying attention to this information while you're toiling and scrolling. We're not going to let you go. We're going to keep on. I can't be on here as much as the bad folk. I can't be on here as much as bad energy. But at the end of the day, we're going to keep on trying to allow us to be in the mix of these energies so that you can still have really a great choice when you strolling. You need a great choice of what to hear. You know, I listen to a lot of stuff too, but my folks will tell you at the end of the day, he gonna goddamn be listening to something teaching, or right alongside that other bullshit to balance out my day. Okay, new here, trying to see what you're doing. So what we're doing is teaching people about the oldest timekeeping tool on the planet, which we're using now for health. Okay. Now, some folks call it medical astrology. Some folks can call it iotro mathematics. Okay. I like to call it iotro mathematics because that's what it is. It's master numerology. So what we do is use your birthday, and your birthday holds language. That language is information about you from the time you were born that'll tell us about how to get you back into right balance health-wise. Okay. And the health of your consciousness is just as valuable as the health of your body. And you get all of that for a funky, measly $50 in your owner's manual. Okay. If you're interested, you can DM me, and that's what we're doing here. Creating an alternative system to medicine so that you don't always have to go down there and pop no pill. Creating effective herbal blends that will handle your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your autoimmune disease, your cancer, your tumors, and whatever else you got going on. We can do that, but we first must consult nature. That's all we ask. Consult nature, and then let us go do our thing. And nature's consultation is $50. I DM'd you, my friend. Appreciate you. Can you kindly repeat that? Repeat what you want me to repeat? New trying to see? No problem. No problem. Give me a birthday. We'll show you what we do. Okay, thank you. I don't do pharmacy stuff. I do natural herbs. cool, like debate, but make sure that you're doing things that are coming from credible sources. Okay. And I put an emphasis on credible sources because there's a lot of people that have wrote a lot of herbal books. Okay. But the reality of it is that what I'm trying to get you to see is that if there was really anybody out here really doing something, they would be famous. I just started. But what I'm telling you that is that I'm not banking on my knowledge of herbs in a doctor to try to say that I know everything about you and know everything about what you need to be healed. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that there is an ancient tool that our ancestors used to use to be able to talk to nature. I use that. So I'm like going to the shaman or to the herb man or to the witch doctor in your neighborhood. That's what I'm saying. Y'all might not like that, but I'm that type of person. Like I'm consorting somebody else. I'm asking somebody else about your health. That's what we do. And I'm coming live from South Africa. All right. If you're around this area and you want my services, holler at me. If you're in America and you need my services, holler at me. If you're in Europe and you need my services, holler at me. If you're in Asia and you need my services, holler at me. All you got to do is DM me. All we need is birthday. And we do what our ancestors been doing for the beginning of time. But let's stop bullshitting and let's stop playing around. If you're looking for natural healing, you need somebody who can talk to nature. That's what you're seeing live on your screen. All right. Anybody else? I ain't no witch doctor, but I'm just saying. I ain't no witch doctor, but I gotta put it in terms the way y'all motherfuckers understand. I'm going to consort a different source. And what I do is I consort nature with your birthday by using this design. That's it. Okay. They call it medical astrology. They call it ultra mathematics. Some of y'all could have called it shamanism or witch doctor because they've been doing it and it's just been different names through different cultures. I don't know what y'all call it, but what it is that I'm those people. I'm the original motherfucker. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm not somebody that just coming over here trying to sell you something out of my basement or sell you something out of my garage. I'm not talking about losing weight. Oh, you see, I lost weight, and so you can get my skincare and my weight loss blend. I'm not those people, cuz. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right. I'm not those folk, man. I'm not on here trying to goddamn get you goddamn. Y'all go ahead and get the herb, man. Y'all come on here and goddamn. I'm not them. We really trying to help folk that really need help. That's why it would never go above $50. It'll go below 50, but it'll never go above. We're trying to get Rico and May and grandmama and them who don't have Medicaid and Medicare and insurance. They need a fast shot at life as well. And you can come to a natural person like myself, and we'll give it to you for as low as we possibly can to get you this. Even that means if it's got to be free, it'll be free in order to help you. But you got to be able to be in the right energy. You got to be able to be in the right energy. And so if you've been physically drained, then you must be prepared to do this thing spiritually. If you've been spiritually drained, then you must be prepared to do this thing physically. That's what we got to tell you. If you bring an old ass feeble person to me that ain't got enough strength to even understand what I'm saying and can't focus and concentrate, I would need the mind's power. I don't got to have grandmama's body power, but I would need grandmama's mind power to help change her situation. And I'm telling it to you how it really is. And I'm not on here trying to get you for nothing and keep selling you no fucking product. We would need your mind. That's the great. I ain't got your mind. Shit, I can't sell your mind to you. So why would I sell you some high ass shit when most of this is gonna be on your end anyway? Most of your healing gonna be on you got to heal yourself. I'm just a facilitator. You pay me for facilitating. Outside of that, this shit's your job. Why would I overcharge you when most of the work is on you? You got to be the one to buy the food, buy the herbs, do the things. Why am I overcharging you for some shit that's mostly on you? You got to be you're the worker, not me, motherfucker. You got to be the one to do the work, y'all. Okay? So ain't no need of somebody price gouging you. when it's you that got to do it. Go into it knowing that, be your own health advocate, and I'm pretty sure that you can do that with the owner's manual. You can go to your therapist, you can go to your psychologist, you can go to your doctors, your pastors, and you'll know this is what I want y'all to do for me. They might not like it, but that's what standpoint, that's what advantage point, or that what vantage point or perspective you need to be at. Seeing things that way. Okay, this man trying to basically tell me to put my health in my own hands. He's giving us the blueprint on it, and therefore we can always refer to it anytime we need help with our healing or within our life. Yes, that's what we're teaching for a funky, measly $50. Any other questions? I got about, we really ain't got no more time. YouTube, I got anybody here that got questions? I appreciate all of you guys on YouTube. We will be back here at the same time tomorrow, you guys, from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Thank you guys for joining the Herb Man Morning Show. We're also going to come back on again from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all of my old heads and my old crew. Again, if you guys are interested in the owner's manual, please DM me. We'll get you the information that you need. We appreciate all of the love, all of the likes. We almost got to 50K. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep on fucking with y'all morning show, though, because goddamn, y'all ain't showing no love. I ain't even going to lie to you. But at the end of the day, we're going to keep on teaching, we're going to keep on preaching, and we're going to keep on pushing out this longevity consciousness, this everlasting consciousness, you guys. This is what you're actually really learning here on the Herb Man Show. Please be advised. Go tell somebody about us when we come on. Put the phone around your co-workers, phone around your family. Put me on the screen, screenshot me, screen mirror me, whatever you want to do, man. Let folks know this conversation is going on within our world, that there is something brewing, that where we can naturally heal ourselves through natural-based interventions, which has already been researched, already been theorized, already been went through the strainer and been realized to improve 93% of your mental health, 83% of your physical health, 73% of your cognitive health. Nature-based interventions can do it. This is the best nature-based intervention on the planet. Until next time, I love you guys, man, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until next time. Peace. Yeah, man, they restricted my life for no reason. Yeah, talking about them pharmaceutical companies, man. That's what they're going to do. But, hey, I ain't never scared. I'm a soldier.